Welcome back for your final helping of oysters, clams, and Christmas Carol Sturka, presented by Bolin Media. My name is Ross Bolin. I am not one of them. I wish to record the podcast, and I'm here with this individual who went by Barrett Dudley to discuss and review the Season 1 finale of Pluribus on Apple TV. Happy Christmas Eve, Barrett.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Harry. Happy Hanukkah, Marv. I think I've wished everybody a happy holidays. This is the third podcast in a row now, we just keep fitting them in before actual Christmas Day. But it is Christmas Eve, and we, much like the McAllisters in Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, are stuck in a nasty, overly humid, balmy, warm 80-degree climate. So,
But we're not in Miami.
We're not. No.
We're just in Austin.
Yeah.
75 and humid outside for some reason.
Looking like 80 degrees tomorrow. So
not very Christmassy.
Hopefully the listeners out there have got Carol Sturka ski chalet vibes.
Ah, yes.
You know?
Rather than this.
Yeah. If you like a white Christmas, as many of us do, got some toddies going, feet up by the fire.
Oh yeah. Cozy socks.
Bearskin rugs?
Not us, buddy.
Not us. Yeah, that's okay.
But yes, happy holidays to everybody. We love and appreciate all of you and hope you have a great holiday season. And we just had to get in here and make it happen before Christmas and New Year's, you know?
That's
Didn't
right.
want to keep anybody hanging.
No. The Apple obviously pushed the show a day early, which, again, you know, we've covered this ad nauseum, but when they say they're releasing Wednesday, that means they're actually releasing Tuesday. So
At 9 p.m. Eastern time. And that applies to all of their shows, just to be clear. This is something to keep in your brain if you're enjoying Apple TV programming. If the show comes out Friday, that means it comes out Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If the show comes out Wednesday, that means it comes out and so on and so on. You follow. You
follow.
get it. You're smart.
Yeah.
You're smart. So before we dive in, for those of you who might be new here, maybe you found us for the first time watching Pluribus, we actually started out as a Game of Thrones podcast way back in 2016. So next year, we will be celebrating 10 years of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, and we'd be honored if you'd continue to watch TV with us. After Pluribus coverage concludes today, the next show we will be covering episodically here on the podcast platforms and on YouTube will be A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the next spin-off from the Game of Thrones universe. The series premiere for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms hits HBO on January 18th, and our companion podcast will be available the next day, Monday. In the meantime, we'll be finishing up our coverage of The Wire Season 2 exclusively on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles. We highly recommend hopping on Patreon and subscribing. Patreon is where you access ad-free exclusive episodes of our show, hundreds of ad-free exclusive episodes of OCC you have never heard, including our companion podcast for every single episode of The Sopranos, HBO's classic crime drama The Sopranos, which Barrett and I knocked out back in 2020, 2021. I think there's like 89 hours of us talking about The Sopranos. It's friendly to first-timers and rewatchers. Barrett was a first-timer. I was a rewatcher. Same setup that we have for The Wire. But we've also got 20-plus movie companion podcasts on there for movies that Barrett and I watched and then created a podcast about. Hotline call episodes out the wazoo for House of the Dragon, Severance, The Last of Us, Succession, The White Lotus, tons of other shows that we have covered over the years, all on Patreon.
Notable Christmas time favorite films such as Event Horizon.
Oh yeah, in the movie club.
Are in the movie club.
Yeah.
Which
you want to get it on
to
that.
watch, for cheer and joy with friends and family.
Right. Throw that one on tonight.
Do it. Yeah. Why not?
It's a holiday
See what
classic.
happens.
Holiday classic. If you join our Patreon, it's just $5 a month to subscribe and support our show as part of the Clam Fam, where you will gain access to our entire backlog of Patreon content in audio form and all new releases in audio form as long as you're subscribed. Or it's just $10 a month to join the Mollusk Militia, gain access to the Mollusk Militia exclusive hotline number from which we pull our calls for our hotline episodes. You'll access the Mollusk Militia exclusive Discord server as well, and full video of every episode. If you enjoy watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you may want to consider the Mollusk Militia tier. When we do a Night of the Seven Kingdoms coverage once a week on Patreon, we will do an hour-long hotline call-driven episode where we take calls and respond to listeners' and viewers' questions, theories, and observations. But if you wait until after January 1st, 2026 to subscribe on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles, the price of the brick is going up. Starting January 1st, it'll cost you $6 a month to join the Clam Fam and $12 a month to join the Mollusk Militia. One caveat, if you're already in the Mollusk Militia before January 1st, you will be grandfathered in at the $10 price and remain at the $10 per month price as long as you remain subscribed. Clam Fam will be $6 per month for everyone starting January 1st. We've been doing this show for a decade. We've been on Patreon for over 5 years. We have never raised our prices, but it's time if we want to keep our show alive. So please, if you enjoyed our coverage of Pluribus, if you love our show, we ask that you subscribe on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles to support our show and get so much more of our show in return. Otherwise, you'll miss out on a lot. A whole lot. Don't be left out in the cold, alone and afraid. Patreon.com/oystersclamscockles. All right, let's dive into episode 9 of Pluribus, titled La Chica o El Mundo. Written by Allison Tatlock and Gordon Smith, directed by Gordon Smith. We kick things off with our count up at 71 days, 13 hours, 31 minutes, and 30 seconds as we watch like an airplane fly across the sky. As we now know, that airplane is landing in Peru to deliver the alien RNA zombie virus to Kusimayu, who is voluntarily joining the hive-minded. But before that happens, we get to watch Kusimayu living in her village with her family, who are all part of the hive, you'll remember.
Yeah.
So she's the only normie here.
Yep.
Everyone else is joined.
Now, I did think that at the very beginning, I thought that was a rocket ship.
So did my wife.
Okay.
Because I blinked and I was like, wait, what was that? And she was like, it was a rocket. And I was like, a rocket? Whoa, a rocket? Oh my gosh, what's that? What's that entail? What is that implying?
I now understand that she was watching, because she's like, is that it? And they're like, yeah.
Won't be long now.
Won't be long now, and it's the plane. But it's like going like straight up vertically to me.
That was the confusion.
And so I was like, oh man, they're doing antenna in space.
I thought they were doing nuke. I thought something, because they were like, won't be long now, and my wife had just told me it was a rocket, and I was like, oh my God, they're going to bomb the world or something crazy like that, you know? But no, it's an airplane.
No, just an airplane.
A jet, if you will. So much to unpack from these Peruvian scenes.
Sure.
One obvious thing we're supposed to take away is how manipulative the others are.
Yes.
They dress like Kusamayu's people did. They talk like they did. They walk like they did, all just to make her comfortable.
Yes.
Until she joins. And once she joins, they all abandon the village entirely, right? So like as this scene is playing out, and frankly, it's one of the few times this season I was like, oh, Vince, you bastard. Like, this is how you're starting out the finale with like a 10-minute scene in Peru with this character we haven't checked in with in episodes.
Sure.
And I was like, come on, let's get to Carol. But a couple minutes in, I was like, so wait a minute. After she joins, will they all still dress like this? Will they all still hang out here? Yeah. Take care of the village? And then it was occurring to me, no, well, probably not. Which makes this all just a massive manipulation, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It makes it very, very creepy. Unjoined Kusamayu was loving to the animals. Joined Kusamayu did not give a fuck. She goes from like holding and petting this baby goat to straight up abandoning it, right? So the others will play house with you, wear traditional Peruvian garb, and maintain your village with you. They'll even do traditional Peruvian chants while they unpack the RNA inhalant, all in the name of getting you to join. And then bam, the switch gets flipped and they're out of there and you're out of there with them. It's like there's a real cold brutality to that.
This scene serves absolutely as like a, hey, just in case you, like Carol, or maybe sort of falling in love with these people, please watch how they act and operate as they turn one of the few remaining individuals into them. And you start processing all the things that you're talking about. Like, yes, this is a show. This is an act. They have made her comfortable. They have maintained this village so that she is comfortable in her active life as an individual. And then the moment that she joins, all of it is dropped. They release and abandon the animals. They abandon the village. They do not need to do this act anymore. And I think one of the things that really dawned on me, I took my dogs on a walk after the episode, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, the removal of and the eradication of individuality is also the eradication of culture, right? And we sort of kind of like talked about that a little bit with the creativity in the books last week that nobody can create anything new.
The loss of creativity, yeah.
But, like,
individual creativity.
But culture is all about what you know, kind of, versus like what you don't know.
Sure.
It's what you're born into and you grow up in, and the place that you live, and the people that you're surrounded.
Traditions.
Right. And so once everybody just knows everything, there's no culture anymore. There's no subculture. There's none of that. It's just a homogenous hive mind. And so I thought it was really nice to show more than just, that kind of like American idea of individuality that we all kind of like think about.
Right.
Which is very kind of me.
That's more selfish.
We're selfish. Yeah. What other things do you lose? And it's like any differentiation, any culture,
It's your humanity.
Yeah.
That's what you lose.
Yeah.
Humanity, gone. So the beings, the physical bodies may still exist, but humanity is eradicated.
Right.
And that's the thing that this cold open really punches you in the mouth with. So Kusamayu takes a hit of the alien air, has a seizure. They lay her down on a blanket. They're prepared to catch her for the seizure and all that. The whole village is gathered watching her. She regains consciousness, now a member of the hive. She smiles. She sits up, stands up, and walks off alone. No one says a word. So there's this whole song and dance, literally, leading up to it. And then once it occurs, it's eerie, right? Because there's no communication.
No, they don't
need to talk anymore. So, like, it's all subconscious, right? But it's still telling that there's no warmth to it. There's no humanity to it. Nobody comes up and gives her a hug and says, welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because she's just everyone now.
Yeah.
Everyone is everyone, as we keep saying. Kusamayu opens the gates, lets all the animals out. The baby goat chases her like, hey, what the hell, lady? And we watch Kusamayu walk out of what was once her village alone. Roll opening title sequence. So yeah, it was a lot. By the end of it, by the end of the cold open, I was like, oh shit, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good. So after the title sequence, we're with Carol Sturka and Zosha watching Manusos drive toward Albuquerque in his ambulance. They've got it like up on the TV. It's like the drone footage. Again, it's creepy. Zosha says he's about 2 hours away. Carol asks what he wants, and Zosha says they don't know because he won't talk to them, but he did receive Carol's first video, so maybe he's heeding her call. Shout out to Howler Brothers.
Thank you.
Zosha says she is going to leave before Manusos arrives because it would upset him, and reminds Carol she doesn't have to be here either if she doesn't want to. And Carol's like, well, he came all the way from Paraguay, so I owe it to the guy to at least hear him out, and then I'll send him on his way. So pretty quickly here, you're like, oh, wow, they really might have broken Carol in episode 8.
Yeah.
Meet with him and send him on his way. What the hell, Carol? They really got her ass. So it was like a couple of things. Obviously, we see this play out over the course of the episode. We can kind of comment on it a little bit now. Loneliness is one hell of a drug. That's a big piece of it. She spent X amount of days completely alone and then begs for them to come back because human beings, we're not meant to be solitary creatures.
Right.
We don't do well with that.
Except for Manusos,
who is maybe a sociopath. And then, not to be crass, but pussy is a powerful thing. That Zosha got her good, man. She got her good. That's why I kept bringing up, like, wouldn't Zosha be, like, unbelievable in bed? Sucked her right in.
Yeah.
Tractor beam. Sucked her right in, man.
Yeah.
So, So Manusos drives up in his ambulance. He sees Carol's Rolls Royce parked in the driveway. I love that contrast. Our count up is at 60 days, 16 hours, 40 minutes, and 16 seconds. So this is 11 days before Kusamayu's joining. For context. This is also like 7 hours after the final scene of episode 8, for context. So Carol comes out to meet Manusos, and he hits her with his practiced greeting. My name is Manusos Oviedo. I am not one of them. I wish to save the world. So Manusos is doing his best to speak English. Carol is doing her best to speak Spanish. She doesn't want him to bring his machete anywhere near her. Manusos wants to talk in the back of the ambulance. Carol wants to talk inside her house. Let's hablamos in mi casa. And they have a nice little standoff over this, right? Neither of them wants to budge. There's some similarities between these two characters in their stubbornness, right? Their pig-headedness, if you will. Carol brings out her phone as a translator. We've been real interested in, like, does any of the tech work at all?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Manusos immediately grabs her phone and is like, are you crazy? They're listening.
Right.
They'll find out about our plan. Throws Carol's phone down in a storm drain. And Carol's like, you know what? You can get back in your ambulancia and fuck right off. And she bails and goes back inside her house. So this dude drove all the way from Paraguay, tried to cross the Darien Gap alone, almost died, refused the others' help at every turn, and Carol doesn't even give him 5 minutes. That was a tough scene to watch right there. Her being like, you can fuck off, and going back inside. I was like, you're not even going to hear him out?
Well, I mean, he does try to destroy pretty much their one way of communicating.
Yeah.
Quickly and efficiently.
Most definitely.
You know?
And he came in hot.
She's got it on airplane mode, Ross.
Yeah. I'm not an idiot.
The protections are there.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. But yeah, it was just, I mean, it's crazy because it's like we're seeing this like regressed version of Carol.
Yeah. And I think when she tells Zosha that she's like, well, I'll hear him out and then send him on his way, you don't really know yet.
Is she telling Zosha the complete truth right there?
Exactly. Or is she just like, well, yeah, obviously I got to talk to this dude and hear him out.
Right,
but
right.
But you sweet child, don't you worry. Like I'm going to get him out of here. And
you're hoping
you're not sure
that when he gets there, she'll be like, all right, let's get down to business. Let's get this plan going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think her kind of unwillingness to meet Manousos in the middle is as we get going here, you're like, oh no.
Oh God.
Oh no. She's
Carol, no.
Yes, yeah. She's been sucked in by that tractor beam.
So Manousos fishes her phone out of the drain, tells her, okay, you win. Telephone, yes. Ambulance, no. But I need an umbrella. He walks out into the desert behind her house, uses an umbrella over his head so the drones can't watch him. Mm-hmm. He says these weirdos have eyes above and they can read lips from space. There's a lot of comedy in this first 20 minutes.
For essentially never having talked to one of these people, I feel like he knows too much about them.
Well, he knows what Carol has told him in that first video.
That's true. Okay.
But and I guess in his travels, he has developed a sense of how they are tracking him.
Right.
They're clearly keeping eyes on him.
Yeah.
But I think the line, they can read lips from space, is an indicator that he, in fact, doesn't know that much.
Okay.
Because he's thinking, like, these are aliens in outer space watching me.
Right.
But they're just aliens that have, basically harvested these humans or whatever, so to speak. And they're utilizing human technology to track him or whatever.
Yeah.
Yak, lots of back and forth. Manousos says he got her video and asks, why would they help two humans come together to destroy them? And Carol's like, destroy? I never said destroy. Zosha really did a number on this lady. Remember episode 2 when Carol meets the other unjoined? Mm-hmm. Carol is exactly like they were now. Like she was so upset by these people being so okay with what was happening, and now she's right in the same boat that they were. Manousos says, these weirdos are evil. They have stolen everyone's soul. If we can't fix them, they are better off dead.
Yeah.
And Carol argues, they're still human beings. They're human. They're just different. And she argues they're not evil. They wouldn't even kill an ant. And he's like, isn't it evil to value man the same as an ant? And Carol's like, have you tried talking to them? You could learn a thing or two, which I'm pretty sure...
That was a good line because she is. There's a lot that we'll continue to kind of compare her journey a little bit to Kumba's, I think, and she's very much in the Kumba role now here, right? Like, well, have you talked to them?
Yeah,
like
she's Albuquerque Kumba,
right? So Manousos is the new Carol, and she's the one that like has more knowledge, has a relationship with them, like all these things that, that give her both the knowledge, but also the like kind of affection and just Stockholm syndrome with them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure either Lakshmi or Kumba directly said, "Have you even tried talking to them? You could learn a thing or two."
Yeah, it could be a direct callback. Yeah.
Carol also once again tells Manousos that the others can't lie. Mm-hmm. Manousos brings up how the weirdos abandoned Carol, and she's like, "Yep, for 40 days." And he asks, "Why'd they come back?" And she's like, "I don't know." They came back because she begged them to, but she won't admit that to Manousos. Carol says this is a stupido, and she's going inside. He searches her whole house for bugs or for any type of, surveillance technology. Yeah, that was great. And he actually finds one in the liquor cabinet, right?
Yeah.
So Carol picks up the phone, dials 0, and asks Zosha if they're spying on her. And Zosha has to tell Carol that actually Helen put the sensor in the liquor cabinet back when Carol was freezing her eggs. I'm assuming because you're not supposed to drink alcohol during that process.
I would, yeah.
And Helen couldn't trust Carol not to drink.
Right.
So she put a fucking sensor in there, man.
Yeah.
It's heavy, right? So Carol's like, "Oh, it's all good. I'll call you later." And she sounds just like she's hanging up with her girlfriend.
Yes.
It was perfect the way she hits the "I'll call you later." It was like the tone and everything. It was beautifully done there.
Mm-hmm.
Carol pours herself a drink, says she's tired and they can save the world tomorrow. She takes Manousos over to one of her neighbor's houses for him to stay in. Says the kitchen has plenty of food. There's fresh sheets on the bed, towels in the bathroom. And Manousos is like, "Whose house is this?" And Carol says, like, "I'll square it up with them whenever they come back." Which made me think Carol must have asked Zosha quite a few questions about Manousos.
Mm-hmm.
Because how would she know that he's Mr. Square It Up?
Oh, right.
Mr. IOU.
Maybe so, yeah.
You know? Manousos gives her a hard time about this, says it's not your house, it's not my house. And she's like, "Well, that's not your ambulance, but you can go sleep in that for all I care. My vodka's getting warm." And she leaves. Fucking Carol, man. Manousos then picks up the phone, dials 0, and asks to speak to Zosha. And I was like, oh, shit.
This guy's good, Ross.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
He does.
Very efficient.
Do you think we're
Manousos.
gonna get any background on Manousos?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Have to.
Right, because we know he's like running like the storage facility,
Yeah.
Yeah. The why can't I think of what these are called? Storage facilities.
Self-storage facility.
Self-storage.
Self-storage.
But like with the hiking through the Darien Gap and the self-sufficiency and the kind of the survival instincts that this guy has, seems like maybe he's like ex-military or something like that.
Also mixed with like the Catholicism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had that saint hanging from his rear view.
Yes.
He thinks the aliens stole their souls.
Yep.
He's very distinct.
Yeah.
And people on Reddit and such are trying real hard to read into like what's Manousos' deal. I think a potential like military background type has been brought up quite a few times. I'm also very curious to see, and I think we will almost certainly get more Manousos in season 2.
Yeah,
that's one of my safer predictions for today. So Carol drinks herself to sleep on the couch, wakes up when she drops her glass. So it's important. She's also kind of drinking her way through this too. She's given up is one way to look at it, right? Because remember, at one point when she was fully invested in turning this thing around and saving the world solo, she had kind of stopped drinking temporarily.
Right.
She was trying to get focused, get clean, get off the booze. Mm-hmm. Now she's back to passing out watching Golden Girls on the couch, right?
Yeah.
She leans a chair up against her front door to prevent a break-in. She's still worried about like how dangerous Manousos will or won't be. And then she notices Zosha's car is parked in front of Manousos' house. So she runs over there frantically.
Not good.
Yeah, as Usher said, she's got it bad, Barrett. She bursts into Manousos' place. "Hi, Carol," says Zosha, like it's completely normal. Carol asks what Zosha told him. Manousos says, "Todo." Everything. Carol grabs Zosha like she's her high school daughter. She's just caught with a boy and is like, "Come on, we're leaving. Like, let's go, Zosha." And Manousos looks at her like, "You disgusting, horny traitor." Because he knows now, Barrett. He knows Toto.
He does.
Carol and Zosha leave. Manousos dials 0 and says, "Send me another one." I was like, God damn, this dude's getting after it.
Yeah.
Carol takes Zosha back into her house, props a chair up against the front door, and starts to question Zosha. Zosha says he asked them specific questions, detailed questions. He was very thorough and persistent. And she says, "It's just not in us to lie to you." And Carol's like, lie to me, but not him.
Right.
And Carol,
yeah,
you are truly lost. She doesn't get it. She's lost perspective.
Yeah.
On everything.
And she's forgotten the things that she already knows.
Yes.
Very well.
The things she already learned.
You know, because it's one thing to kind of like to do the Kumba, to enjoy the fruits of the joining, if you will, to take advantage of the free trips to whatever ski mountain you want to go to, whatever beach you want to go to,
Vegas,
to have a relationship with whoever you want to have a relationship with, basically.
Hot tub orgies with the cleaning lady.
Exactly, all these types of things. But like, she's doing all that, but has convinced herself that like this relationship operates the way that a normal one does, that she's not dating 7 billion people at once that are part of a hive mind that can't lie to any of the unjoined, that will answer any questions and don't actually have any individuality to them, right? Like and I think it's the Zosha working out the eye really like was the rabbit out of the hat, it feels like.
Yeah, it hooked
in a way.
Carol.
That really hooked Carol.
Really got her thinking like, I can make this work.
Yeah, right.
I think the combination of the manipulations from Zosha and the loneliness that Carol was experiencing just put her in this place where she was so desperate for human connection that she bought into this, at least temporarily.
But watching her sort out and work through well, you don't lie to me, but can't you lie to him? It's like, no, you already know how this works. That was a tough one. Tough one to watch her sink in.
Yeah. Zosha tries to explain to Carol that they love Manousos the same as they love her, and Carol's like, what? No,
Yeah, rough,
obviously
rough.
not. You can't love him the same. It's not the same. It's different. He's a stranger. You barely know him, and you're my chaperone. Mine. Like there's possession to it
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
it's possessiveness.
I mean, when she walks in and grabs Zosha out of Manousos' house.
Oh, yeah.
Very possessive there.
Yeah, which is a lot of like underlying commentary on relationships in general, like human relationships and like monogamous relationships, right? So Carol demands Zosha stay away from Manousos, brings up the machete again, says she should hear the way Manousos talks about them, and Zosha lays on the ground and prepares for a seizure. Oh shit, Manousos is over there putting in work. Carol runs over and finds Manousos studying one of the others who is mid-seizure on his couch. Goes to his ambulance, gets his little book with the radio frequency written on it, gets out his handheld radio, turns it to that frequency, and goes back inside. Carol calls Manousos a psycho and says, like, do you have any idea how many people you just killed? The joined dude that was seizing on the couch comes out of his seizure. Carol starts to comfort him. Manousos yells in his face again immediately, sending him into another seizure, and then puts the radio on the dude's chest and starts talking to him. Carol walks out like horrified by all this, right? Keeping in mind, Carol has done this twice as well. They have this current same scorecard. Manousos has caused 2 seizures, worldwide seizures. Carol has caused 2 worldwide seizures, but also the worldwide crying as well.
Yeah, because that was a third one. Right?
So technically, Carol's still winning on the scoreboard, and she's so horrified that Manousos would do this, right?
Yeah.
Manousos tells the guy, I know you are there. Let me help you. I am here. Listen, Rick, I am here. You come back, yes? You can do it. Listen, Rick. You remember. Remember? He's trying to bring Rick back. His current hypothesis is that this radio signal must somehow alter the others.
Yeah.
Or it could be used as a weapon against them.
Right. And we know from what Zosha told Carol, that the way that they operate and subconsciously communicate is similar to radio. It's this electromagnetic field that the body emits that we just generally don't really tap into.
Right.
And so, yeah, they obviously don't go very far into this. We're kind of saving it for season 2. But, like, yeah, having this radio on this frequency seems to disrupt that. It disrupts the communication between an individual to the hive.
Perhaps.
That
seems to be Manousos' working theory.
Yes, is that he can kind of put you in a vacuum and get you siloed and talk to the individual
that's in there.
If he can disrupt the radio-like communication.
Yes. Yeah. So then Carol blasts a hole in the wall with her police shotgun and tells him to back away now. So I guess even though she lost the cop car, she held on to the shotty.
Yeah.
Carol goes and tends to Zosha, who is recovering from back-to-back seizures. The phone rings. It's Lakshmi. This made me so happy because as she is tending to Zosha, before the phone even starts ringing, I was like, wouldn't Lakshmi call? And the phone rang like 2 seconds later, and I was like, they're not going to miss anything on this show because I'm trying to catch them.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but they can't be caught. Carol picks up, says, it wasn't me this time. Screw you too, Lakshmi. Zosha says, Carol, I'm so sorry. You know what we have to do. So she leaves, and the dude Manousos was torturing, if you will, leaves as well.
Did you think was there any part of you that was like,
she's going to go kill him?
What do they have to do?
It took a second because at first I was like, is she
pretty
going to go over there
sure-
and kill this dude? Then I was like, oh, they have to bail.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that's what it was, but for a second I was like, wait, is there something else that they have to do?
No, because they can't hurt him.
Right.
And they have to protect
And they
themselves.
have to protect themselves.
So
yes.
they're going to do what they did to Carol.
Yeah.
Zoja tells Carol that Manousos did warn them first before he did what he did. He told them, like, yeah, I'm going to mess you up.
Right.
And then she gets in her car and Zoja says, please tell him we're sorry it came to this, and she drives away. You also have to keep in mind for anyone in the audience who was like, how did Manousos even know that yelling at them would upset them? He spent 20, 30, 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours in there getting all of the information he possibly could from these folks, and they cannot lie. So they are truthful about everything.
That's a good point, because this kind of factors into what I was saying about, like, how does he know so much, having essentially zero interaction with these, with the others.
Right.
But I guess, yeah, we don't actually know how long he sat there with Zosha. A long time, right? Because I think you, as you laid it out,
Or Rick.
she wakes up from the drinking, right?
Right.
And is that when she looks out and sees that Zosha's over there?
Yes. It could have been
so
hours.
could have been
Hours and hours.
Yeah.
So Carol goes and lets Manousos out of the trunk of her Rolls. What a psycho. Then she uses the translator to tell Manousos that they're leaving again, all of them, the whole city. And Manousos says it was worth it, completely. Now I know so much more. He says Carol was right. He thinks there's a way to put things back in their place, so now the work begins. Carol doesn't agree.
No.
She's like, listen, guy, there's water and power. Dial 0 if you need anything else. And she gets in her car to leave, and Manousos asks, do you want to save the world or get the girl? Now, there's been some debate on Twitter about this
La chica.
from Paraguayan speakers saying that the actual translation is, do you want to save the world or get your girl? I'm not sure it makes all that much of a difference personalizing it in that way.
Because he delivers this line in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay.
But the subtitles read,
do we get subtitles?
do you want to save the world or get the girl? That's the subtitles.
But does the little translator read it?
Yes.
Right? Because that's how she hears it?
Yeah, and it reads it as...
All right.
But you know how it is where there's nuance with language?
Yes.
So maybe there's some nuance to that. Again, I'm not sure it's all that important, but I did see a take on this.
Yeah. I don't feel strongly one way or the other. Getting the girl is kind of the phrase that we've...
Right.
That's the...
It's a cliche.
Right. Yeah. So I that's probably why they framed it that way, is to
hit that.
Hit that, yes. Yeah.
So Carol drives away. She leaves him there alone. This dude journeyed however many kilometers across the earth, and she bails. So Carol and Zoja go gallivanting around together in some kind of vacation montage here. We get Zoja swimming in a swimming pool while Carol reads a book poolside. The book, by the way, is called The Left Hand of Darkness. It's a landmark 1969 science fiction novel published by Ursula K. Le Guin, set on the planet Gethin, where inhabitants are ambisexual, changing gender during a monthly cycle.
Okay.
There you go. They walk on the beach together. Seems like they're in another country, certainly not New Mexico.
Right, yeah.
New Mexico is a landlocked state, right? So they go on a skiing trip.
Yeah.
They share a bubble bath in a skyscraper. I guess that's before the skiing trip.
Pre-ski, yeah.
So how long did this vacation last? What was this like? This feels like it could have been a month, longer even.
Yeah. Well, don't we get days? Don't we get a day indication? Towards the end of
I think when she gets back,
74?
74 days by the end.
So 2 weeks, right? Because Manousos shows up at 60 or 61 days.
So they go a few different places.
Yes.
A nice resort in Italy, maybe a nice, European beach, then back over to the States for a ski trip or something. The point is,
probably all Europe, right? Like Swiss, that
all in the same region, maybe.
I didn't look at the gondola to see if I could see any markings, but it felt very European. It felt like Swiss Alps or Italy, Switzerland type skiing.
Yeah,
like that big lodge just felt very European.
But a big vacation. They're really doing it.
Yes. I mean, they got, hop in the jumbo jet, go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
As fast as you want.
Yeah. So, après ski, they're hanging out in some incredible ski lodge, and Zoja notices that Carol has been pretty quiet. Carol says she's been wondering if the unjoined Zojia had someone in her past. This is how far down the rabbit hole she is. Now she's like, I need something. I'm going to get jealous of the human you used to be's past.
Yeah.
Fucking nut. Zoja's like, yeah, she did, but it was a long time ago. And Carol's like, what, are they in there with you right now? Huh? You spending time with them right now, not even telling me? And Zojia says, no, they're not. Carol apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry, man. I don't think I'm very good at feeling good. Which is a common human issue. People have a really hard time, especially
self-sabotage. Yeah,
if you've experienced like a lot of trauma and upheaval and issues in your life, and then suddenly things smooth out, you self-destruct because you're not used to that piece. Yeah. So then she asks Zojia, what is it that makes us feel happy? And Zojia explains serotonin, dopamine, vasopressin, and oxytocin, of course. Of course. Zojia says, fun fact, there's a study that implies oxytocin is responsible for the development of empathy in vertebrate species.
From fish.
Yes.
From
200 million years ago.
200 million years ago.
So I assume the others don't have oxytocin because they don't seem to possess empathy. Like nobody with empathy abandons a baby goat that harshly.
You think that part of the RNA sequencing is essentially like a blocker of sort.
I think so. Because there's otherwise none of this works.
An oxytocin blocker or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, even for the question like, why won't they pick a fucking apple?
Right.
Like, it's the opposite of empathetic to have that law in place. Because you don't care what happens to anyone, and you're all one, and there's no empathy because individual, like, you know what I mean? It just, I thought that was really interesting and very specific to point to oxytocin that way.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard or read the word oxytocin more over the past year than you have in 20, because there's a lot that comes up with like parenting and shit. Okay. When you have a newborn and like what it does to your oxytocin levels.
Sure. Okay.
And how that it plays a role in like bonding with your child. And like, it's one of those things where just as a similar comparison, like for men, we have testosterone.
Right.
When you spend time with your children, your testosterone levels actually go down to make you less of an aggressive psycho. And then when you go out into the world, they shoot back up so that you can go hunting in the forest or whatever. Because evolution put us in a position where we are not fit for the modern world, Barrett, as men. But yeah, so I just think the oxytocin commentary was really important. It's also just really interesting. It almost bothers me when I go learn about this kind of thing because it makes everything chemical. Like, humanity feels like such a spiritual experience sometimes, but then when you break it down, like it's literally scientific.
Right.
Like, here's why you feel happy. Your brain just released these 4 chemicals.
Yeah.
And now it'll be harder for you to get those 4 chemicals for the next like hour and a half or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like that's very fascinating to me. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see if that empathy stuff comes into play more in season 2 and the oxytocin stuff.
Okay, good note.
So Carol says Carol must have every happy chemical currently flowing through her bloodstream. She keeps being afraid it'll go away, and she doesn't want it to. And Zojia says, I'm glad, and it only gets better. Carol's like, what was that? Gets better? What are you talking about the joining? You can't be talking about the joining, because without my stem cells, you can't convert me, blah, 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 blah. They can make stem cells from Carol's eggs.
Yeah.
So they have Carol's eggs already. They're already working on making them into stem cells, which just makes this all so much creepier, right? It takes time and patience plus a bit of luck, which I would note is very much, it's not a guarantee that they can take those eggs and turn them into stem cells.
Okay.
So it is possible they will fail.
Right.
But given the fact that they have the combined knowledge of every living scientist, it seems likely they don't.
Yeah.
So Zojia says, you have to understand how beautiful it is. You'll see why we have to share it. On that note, Kusamayu just joined, and she's happier than she's ever been. You could even ask her yourself. And I'm really interested in this concept still.
Okay, there's a little timestamp right there for you, because it's basically been 11 days.
Yeah, so now we are past the 71-day count up cold open. Yeah. But do you think? So they can't lie, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they're telling everyone. Mm-hmm. They can't lie. It's not in them to lie. But does saying that Kusamayu is happier than she's ever been, and that you could hear it from her mouth if you wanted to, is that actually meaningful information? Because my feeling, my impression is still that like when you join, it's a brainwashing type situation.
That's the word I was about to use as well.
Right?
Like it's.
So I'm not going to listen to the. Carol used the analogy. I don't ask the drug dealer about their heroin.
Right,
Mine would be,
right.
I'm not going to ask the cult member about their experience. So how is the cult? It's the best thing ever. We all love each other so much.
Yeah.
Life is perfect. You know?
Yeah. I like the heroin analogy too, though. Never done it, but most incredible high on the planet, basically.
Whole
right?
body tingly. I've never done it either, but
that's what they say. So like, just because something is amazing and feels incredible and puts you in the happiest place on earth does not mean that it's good or good for you
or sustainable.
Right. So I believe that Kusamayu is the happiest she's ever been because of what this thing does to you, but that doesn't mean that it's.
Well, we already know it's not going to last. They're all going to starve to death.
Yeah. That doesn't mean
That's a good point.
It's a good thing. That overall it's a good thing.
Great.
And then yes, obviously, like there's a brainwashing factor here as well.
Yeah. Great takes. So Carol asks, how much time do I have? And Zoja tells her a month, hopefully no longer than 2 or 3. Carol says, if you loved me, you wouldn't do this. And Zoja replies, we have to do this because we love you. Because I love you. And that was like the real final nail in the coffin right there. Because that's when Carol has to recognize, oh, she's manipulating me.
This is a manipulation.
This is a manipulation.
Yeah.
This whole thing is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they can't lie, this is a lie.
Right.
This relationship that I was telling myself is real is not.
Yeah.
Suddenly our count up is at 74 days, 18 hours, 30 minutes, and 25 seconds. We are back with Manousos, who is studying and learning everything there is to know about radio and radio frequencies, loops, circuits, waves, and such. He is having to read an English science book and use a translator dictionary.
Yeah.
Still not using technology for research and refusing to utilize the Hive or anyone in it. And not going to use a computer or a cell phone because he's scared that they can tap into that, and he doesn't want them to know his plan.
Yeah.
Fucking lunatics, these people. But you got to respect the hustle. You got to respect the Manousos grind. But that would take forever to do. So tedious, dude. Manousos hears the helicopter approaching. He goes outside. It's Zoja flying Carol back home. There's a giant cargo box also being delivered with Carol. Carol gets out without saying anything to Zoja. Zoja flies away. Carol tells Manousos, you win, we save the world. And Manousos is like, what is this giant box? Carol says, atom bomb. Roll credits. And that's where season 1 of Pluribus leaves us.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the finale?
I felt really good. It made me really, really ready for season 2. It's a great cliffhanger. And it, as we know, this show got booked for 2 seasons up front, and it was making me, I was like, man, I wish they had filmed these seasons back to back so that we could, so that we got season 2 a year later. And I'm really hoping that this show, it seems like some shows are kind of coming back into the fold of like, hey, you know what people like? Having their show back every year.
Yeah. I wouldn't count on it, though.
How about not 2.5 years between seasons? That's pretty sweet when shows do that.
It is.
So I'm really hopeful that we get this. That if it's 27, it's early 27 for this show. And honestly, I'd love it back next year. Because I'm ready. I think that. I feel like where this show leaves you, again, really puts the pace into perspective. You understand why they told this, the first 60 days of the 70 days of the story the way that they did. And even this episode, like it kind of backtracks a little bit with Carol's regression in a way that may have felt disappointing to some people, but I think kind of continues to build character, continues to build like the like a really solid foundation, for the show to continue, rather than just chewing up plot as fast as it can.
Dude, I was definitely in that camp. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it, Carol. You're costing us here. You're costing us valuable time and episodes, Carol. Come on. But the more I sat with it and thought about it, that's why I kept harping on like what the loneliness would do to you and what feeling that faux human connection with Zojia would do to you. And the pussy part is a joke, but also is a real, it's a powerful thing.
I mean,
sexual
sex
attraction.
and intimacy are
Yes.
human needs
Yes.
for most of us, the way that, I mean, food and water are, right? Like it's lower on the hierarchy, but that's a
It's a real
primal
thing.
drive
Yeah.
that is very important to people, and that and beyond just the physical, the connectivity, that's real, like, that's a release of oxytocin and hormone and chemicals and like
Co-regulation.
and, yes,
And it's,
and
yeah,
the things
dude.
that make you feel normal and safe and happy and all those types of things. So it is not, it's not shocking that Carol was not able to keep that wall up, was not able to stick to mission
Right.
and relationship, that she just fell in to tall haughty Zosha
Yep.
playing house with her.
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
and
it worked.
and
Zojia won that battle.
And I felt really good about, or I felt like we had a good discussion last week, because we had talked about that idea of sometimes when you're pretending to do something, that the thing actually happens. Sometimes when you pretend that you're sick to get out of something, you kind of make yourself sick.
Right.
Sometimes if you pretend to fall in love with somebody, you kind of start to fall in love with that person.
Right.
Like, and that's exactly what happened to Carol. She couldn't play act it. She actually went there.
It became real.
It became real. So, yes.
So you have to make peace with that and understand that that's what's driving these decisions for her. As I put it at the top of the pot, like Zojia broke her.
Mm-hmm.
They broke her. Their plan worked.
Yep.
And they sucked her
Yes.
right in, and she could not get out. I would not expect to see this show return before 2028.
2028?
Yeah. I wouldn't count on it. So they're in the writer's room allegedly right now.
Ugh.
Production
It's 2025,
Production
Ross.
will allegedly begin in spring of 2026. So best case scenario, you're looking at December 2027, but way more likely given what we know about the streaming world.
No.
2028.
I don't think that's tolerable anymore. I don't think people are willing. Like,
It's not. We're not.
you can't claim that you're the most watched TV show on the service ever, and then make people wait 2.5 years. Like, I think they kind of. I honestly, I think that. I think if you actually sat in a meeting with Apple TV, they feel badly about the way that Severance is going, with the massive layoffs, like with the massive
Waits in
time
between?
gaps. Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. But I also know that the execs, the suits,
Yeah.
are able to talk themselves into it's fine because as people are waiting for Pluribus season 2, they'll get Severance season 3. And then as you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we can have a few hot shows going at once, then there's always something to plug the gap. But I am completely with you and everyone else who has complained about this ad nauseum. The waits have become too long. When you've got a great show like this with so much theorizing and speculation and detail to it, and you end on this cliffhanger, people want to know what's going to happen next, the same way they did after Severance season 1. And Severance suffered as a result of that wait time. I guarantee you, they may have ended up coming out on top because more people joined in to watch the show than bailed, but no doubt there were people who did not come back for season 2.
Right.
Because they waited too long and they didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
And I agree. This isn't talking about sustainability. This is not a sustainable model for hot TV.
Yeah.
If you want to be the number one show on the streamer or in the world, but you can't drop a season but every 2.5, 3 years,
Yeah.
that doesn't really work for us anymore. And shows like Slow Horses, or as the prime example we always use, have proven audiences want loyalty year after year. They want to be able to come back and see a new season of their show.
Yeah.
Especially because this ain't the 90s, bro. We're not getting 25, 30 episodes a season.
Right.
We're getting 6 to 10. 10 if you're lucky at this point.
Yes.
That's the best you could possibly hope for with these prestige TV shows. So I completely agree. And I just, I read a lot of Vince Gilligan quotes this week, and I am concerned that he's trying to let us down gently.
Yeah.
Like some of these quotes would make me tend to believe, oh, this is not going to be quick.
The only thing that I think maybe we have in our favor a little bit is that Vince didn't do these huge gaps in between seasons of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. I think when he got towards the end of both of those shows, there were some longer waits between like the final couple of seasons.
Right.
But I think in those shows' initial, first 4 seasons, basically, I think they were coming out right about every 12 months. So, and just to compare the show again to Severance, like less CGI, less. I feel like there were some great location shoots for the show, but mostly we were on a cul-de-sac in Albuquerque, right? You know what I mean? Like, so it's more practical effects. I thought, like, a lot of the kind of fun stuff with the helicopter or the drone. Like, I think they're just actually shooting that, which is that less time in the CGI lab, basically. So there are some reasons to believe that if they start shooting early next year, that this show doesn't take a full year to produce the way that it seems like House of the Dragon, for example. It's like they finish shooting in 3-4 months or whatever, but then it takes them a year to like render everything.
The one thing I would say is that, remember, a lot of what took Severance season 2 so long was this incredibly technical production.
Mm-hmm.
Where like that one shot of dude running through the halls took like 2 months.
Yeah.
Vince loves technical shots.
Yeah.
He loves to like somehow put a camera in the blender so that you're looking out at the person who's making a smoothie or whatever, or a cup of coffee or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. And I hope you're right. For the record, yes, Breaking Bad aired from 2008 to 2013. That's 5 seasons in, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6 years-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to wait and see. I'm just saying, I'm trying to, not to be a downer here at the end, but I just want to make sure we're kind of all ready to maybe lower our expectations. I really loved this finale. I thought it was a perfect 1-2 punch between the penultimate episode and the finale. This penultimate episode where you're watching Carol versus Zosia, whose manipulation is going to win out.
Right.
And then seeing in this finale, it wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close.
I was so hopeful. I really believed in Carol.
I think it makes that scene in the penultimate episode where Zosia is just like pouring it on about the book.
Yeah.
Like knowing everything about Wakaro. Like, oh, it's going to be the Towers of Triumph that, no, it's going to be the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
I think that was hook, line, and sinker right there. Like the comparison to Helen, who never really bought in, Zosia loves it, knows everything, all in.
She's a super fan.
It's just like, and it made you kind of realize that Carol probably hated her work in some part because she knew that her partner
didn't
love it either.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hard to be proud of your work when your loved ones are not, when you're not getting that back from them.
Absolutely.
Too. So, I think that scene is one that I came back to. Like when we start the episode and about 15 minutes in, you're like, oh, they got her.
Yep.
And you think of, it's like the mango ice cream.
Yeah, dude.
And the book talk,
Because remember, my read was like, ooh, Carol is winning here in this back and forth because she is getting Zosia to tap into her individuality.
Yes,
Maybe what she's doing is actually working. Maybe the finale is going to be her breaking Zosia and us meeting real Zosia, who will suddenly be speaking Polish and extremely confused about what is going on and where she is. But no, which just shows you how cold, calculated, and really, to take it back to the word I used at the top of the show, brutal. Like that's a brutal manipulation, dude.
Yeah.
And they worked her over good.
They're cold-blooded.
But this was fun. I feel really bad for Manousos. I'm extremely excited to get to spend more time with that character in season 2.
So when Carol comes back in the helicopter, she is dressed in all black, which we haven't seen her dressed in before. She looks a little bit more like she's like ready to get down to business.
Yeah.
She's kind of been in brighter colors throughout the season, and then certainly on the vacation travels, she's in prints and patterns and blues and greens and pinks and like
florals.
Yeah, it's like very, it's Happy Carol, and then we get the the all black look from Carol.
Black business Carol.
It reminded me of Ray Seahorn's looks in Better Call Saul, where she is mostly in a black business suit. And I thought she was great in the season. I thought she was asked to do a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, she carries the show. She is the primary focus in most of the episodes. She's got a lot of work to do on her own. But for me, Ray Seahorn is best when she is stoic and quiet and like doesn't need to say as much, and is way more like I feel like where she excels best in her performance is when you can just see gears turning in her head. I thought the final 60 seconds of her, where all the looks that she exchanges with Zosha, she doesn't say anything, she gets out the "you win, we save the world," and then the atom bomb line. I thought that was all just like that was really good. Like that was where I think she operates best, and it's kind of where I want to see Carol next season. And then my other note is that I don't know if we'll do any time jumping, but it's going to be tough going if every single piece of communication between Manousos and Carol is through the cell phone translator.
And I don't think it will be long term. But yes, because for the reason you are pointing to,
yeah,
they can't rely on that long
So just
term.
thinking about next season, that was one thing that flagged for me.
Yeah. You don't want to have to watch a show where every conversation takes twice as long because you're literally having to listen to it get translated through a phone.
My other question for you is give me a take on the atom bomb. What was the
just to stop and comment on the translator quickly. It does worry me because he did make us listen to that voicemail 27 times this season. That could be next season's bit that we get stuck listening to the translator all season. So big question for the episode is why did Carol want the atom bomb in the end?
So I was so excited because I was like, I feel like I've been, since episode 1, I was like, science equipment, put the lab together.
Yeah,
you know? And I was like, I was for sure that what she had dropped down there
was
like, here it is. Science stuff.
Everything her and Manousos would need.
Yes.
Maybe some kind of high-powered radio transmitter.
So, a bunch of equipment that she knows they're going to need, and like... So I was disappointed that I hadn't been right all along, but I thought that the atom bomb was a great callback and a really good, kind of like hammer here, because I think it's sort of my interpretation, or one interpretation, is that it sort of serves the same effect. I think that she was frustrated the majority of this episode with Manousos' commitment to not being willing to use them at all. And I feel like I think she needed the biggest thing possible to show this dude that they will do anything for them while this battle ensues. So it's like, they'll give us a fucking atom bomb, dude. Like, ask for what you want. Basically.
That is hilarious, because my read was basically the opposite.
Okay.
That the atom bomb is a reminder for Carol. These people are psychotic.
Okay.
They will give you anything you want. They gave you an atom bomb.
Yeah.
Don't fall back in love. Don't think it's real. There is no logic to what they are willing to do, the others, to keep you happy. They would let you wipe out millions of them.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I think it can kind of do both, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. Definitely proves a point to Manousos, like you were saying. Holy shit, they gave her an atom bomb. And then also, I think it might be a defense for Carol.
Yeah.
If they, like, a statement. If you come for me, try to hit me with that alien gas.
True.
I'm going to set this atom bomb off.
I like that too.
You know?
Yeah.
So it feels, it's kind of layered.
Okay.
But I do think
that's a good one. When they show up with the inhalant in a couple months, when that thing's ready,
she's standing there with a finger on the button.
My hand will be on the detonator. Yeah.
No, sure, go for it. You gain one, and you're going to lose however many millions are around here, right?
Okay.
It also just makes me wonder if they will stick around in Albuquerque knowing she has an atom bomb there. You know, there's a lot of questions, obviously, that we're not going to get answers to until next season, but it did feel like a fun little cherry on top of the season that they drop off the atom bomb And I do think it's sort of serves multiple purposes for Carol. And
Just the
Menezes.
fact that we can come up with 3 or 4 different things that it could mean, I think, is why it's so good.
Yeah,
why
brilliant.
it's kind of a brilliant little end note there.
Yeah, so I really loved this, and just to touch on one of the larger things that people were critical about over the course of the season. Look, this was a slow show for sure, especially those first 4 or 5 episodes. But I really personally settled into the pace by the end of it. Once you've kind of got your expectations corrected, like, okay, this is Vince Gilligan. It's way more like reading a book than it is like watching a TV show normally. So just a random point to kind of drive that home. When we turned on the season finale and it was playing the recap from the first 8 episodes of the season, my wife realized she fell asleep and missed part of the end of episode 8.
Okay.
And she was like, no, it's fine. We'll just do, I just saw the recap, so I know. And I was like, no. You wouldn't skip chapters in a book and just be like, I've got it. It's cool. I'll pick it up as we go. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This is that kind of storytelling. Like,
Right.
you have to be dialed in. You have to be willing to go through some of the work to get to the payoff. And that's the kind of story that Vince Gilligan wants to tell here. He's doing more and more interviews this week and marketing for the finale.
Yep.
And was basically saying, like, yeah, this isn't going to be for TikTok-brained people. This is going to be a different kind of storytelling that I believe Vince Gilligan believes is much more impactful and effective long-term.
Yeah.
When you're willing to get through sort of the schlag of it all or whatever.
And look, how many times have we been burned by shows that come out hot with amazing plot and they chew through it and we're all obsessing and we're on the Reddit threads and we're doing all of that, and then it's just like they can't keep that up. They can't keep that going. And so I
It's not as sustainable. Yeah.
I don't, that actually makes me feel better about the prospects of the show, that they're not biting off more than they can chew, that they, and at the same time, by the way, for the people that did stick around, that maybe had an issue with the pace, but decided to give it a go, I thought that I was actually surprised that we started getting a little bit of the radio frequency stuff. I thought that was a nice, like, kind of bone to throw to the plot heads out there.
Some carrot.
Yeah, that like, hey, there's stuff happening with how this all works, and we know what we've got some answers to dole out. Like, these 2 people are going to work on figuring this out, and here's a little bit of taste of how this is going to start to unfold. So I liked that too. I didn't actually expect that in the finale. I didn't expect to start getting some of those clues about how they might try to, save the world.
Well, and I don't think anyone expected what they saw in this finale. That was very unexpected.
Yeah.
It was not easy to predict that. I don't think anybody did. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. You don't want to be able to tell, like, what's going to happen in the show you're watching. Otherwise, what's the point? You want to be surprised. You want to be taken aback by what you're experiencing, viewing something like this. And I thought they accomplished that really well. I also thought the finale did feel, pacing-wise, a lot more modern, if you will. Like, it was not as much of a slow burn as some of these other episodes were. So I loved it, man. I thought it was great. It's fun. It's different. It's really, really different from anything else that I am watching or have watched recently. And for that reason, I will look forward to watching season 2. And when it finally drops, we will watch it with all of you and discuss it, even if that is not until 2028. We just got to stay alive until then.
Huzzah.
We just got to survive. In the meantime, we'll have a lot of great stuff to watch in 2026, and we hope you will continue to enjoy our podcast and keep watching TV with us. If you watched Pluribus with us and you are an Apple Podcast listener, if you wouldn't mind, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Write a few sentences about why you love our show in the form of a review. That means a lot, helps more people find us. We really appreciate you if you do that. If you're on Spotify, likewise, they have a star rating system, not a review system, but you can leave us a 5-star rating on there. And then, of course, if you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications so you're notified every time we drop a new episode. Hit the like button on this video and leave a comment on the comment section so we can go back and forth with you about what you thought about the finale. And then, of course, as we mentioned, get with us on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles, where for the next, what do we have, 6-7 days left in this calendar year? 6 or 7 days? What, 31st? 7 days for you to access that 2025 pricing
Yeah.
for the Mollusk Militia and get locked in so that you are hashtag grandfathered in for 2026. After that, the prices are going up ever so slightly.
We know well that there are people that come back specifically for Game of Thrones, Westeros, spin-off, Dragon, whatever that might be. So this is a great opportunity to, if you know you're going to want the video and the hotlines and all that type of stuff, like get in the Mollusk Militia, get that better price, lock it in.
Get in there.
Hashtag grandfather.
Dragon. Patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. We'll be back soon. I think we're going to do best of 2026 in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, we've basically done 2 ad-based this week. So this is, because the way they dropped the episodes. So
not basically, we did.
We did, yeah.
We made it happen.
Patreon only next week. If you are on Patreon already, Mollusk Militia, I think we're probably going to do like a
jumbo hotline call.
Jumbo hotline call.
Mollusk Militia, hit the hotline.
Episode to close out the year.
Hit your hotline.
Call about The Wire, call about Pluribus, call about shows that are coming out next year, whatever you want. Treat it like a mailbag. We'll answer whatever.
We're getting a lot of DMs about some gay hockey show.
Heated rivalry.
What is going on?
All over my timeline at the moment.
Okay, so it's not okay because I felt like we were being trolled by like a section of our fan base of members of the Clam fam.
No, it's
that hot.
Heated rivalry has seized the zeitgeist.
Wow,
by the balls.
Yeah, so people keep. Several different people on multiple different platforms have been like, "What the hell, guys? Not going to cover heated rivalry?" I was like, "What the fuck is heated rivalry?"
They might be trolling us.
They're not.
They're
dead serious.
They probably know how much we love to speculate on gay relationships in the shows that we do watch.
We do that a lot, yeah.
And they're like, here's one right here for you.
You don't even have to speculate.
You don't even have to speculate.
It's just a couple of gay hockey players going after it.
Real quick to close out here, this is funny. Are you aware that there's like a whole section, there's a whole like subgenre of these modern romance books that are about like hockey players?
No.
Okay. I don't know if there's a name for it. There probably is. But like if you go look at all the books that are so popular right now that are modern romance, right? Some of them get pretty smutty. A lot of them are about like hockey players, like a girl and a hockey player. A girl falls in love with a hockey player. A girl hits a hockey player, but then falls in love with him. Like blah, blah, blah. So it's a whole thing. And so there's lots of gay romance out there as well. This is based on a series of books about a gay hockey romance, and it's on HBO. And I saw like one of the things that hit my timeline was from GQ interviewing the 2 stars of the show, and it's got like pull quotes from them and from Casey Bloys, the head of programming at HBO, and there was a funny quote where he was basically like, "Look, if you come across this show and it's like, hey, two dudes are playing hockey and they fall in love with each other and there's going to be explicit sex, you're going to be like, I want to see that." And he was right, because this show is super, super hot. Right?
Yeah, we keep getting hit up about that one. I've had to explain to several people, like, look, we're finishing up Pluribus, then we're kind of going into the tail end of the year with a couple holidays here, and then we're going to be getting ready for a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We don't have time to fit in heated rivalry.
We don't. Unfortunately, I mean, we're also like, hell, God, like, already I have missed so many shows this year. I'll have to caveat my top 10 list with that. But then their January is insane. Like, they're hitting us. HBO alone is hitting us with season 2 of The Pit, season 4 of Industry, and A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, basically on like the same weekend. I don't know what they're doing. I guess they're jacking up that shareholder value, right?
Yeah, gotta push that price up, dude.
Yeah. So
milking Netflix for everything they're worth.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot to watch out there, man.
So we'll be back on Patreon next week with another episode of The Wire Season 2. Again, please get on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. We appreciate y'all so much. Video of today's show was produced by Dan Regester. Producer Cade's still out for the holiday. Dan stepped up hugely for us.
Thank you, Dan.
This week, especially today on Christmas Eve, where he could have been spending time with his family. Instead, he's sitting in the living room waiting for us to finish recording so he can edit this thing. Really appreciate Dan. Show Dan some love on social media, Dan Regester. As well, follow Barrett and I at Barrett Dudley on Instagram and Twitter for Barrett. I'm at WR Bolin on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me on Letterboxd at Boss Rollin. You can find our show, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Hit them. Perfect timing here. Our cameras are running out of battery. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, etc., so on and so forth. Until next time, remember, we would move heaven and earth to make you happy.